All right, Mercy Village Church, I want to talk about three ways primarily that you can help our youth group and kids ministry. And I want to talk about our second ideation of a yard sale. But first, I just want to remind you, and by the time you see this, I get it's last minute, but we have a prayer meeting tonight here at the building at 6 p.m. It'll be just 1 hour long. We'd love for you to join us. Short devotional, and then just time praying for our church, praying for one another, praying for our community. So, again, would love to see you out for that this evening at 6 p.m. Let me talk, before we talk about the yard sale, let me first talk about our youth group and kids ministry. Again, and I said this on Sunday, and it is true, that the opportunity that God has given to Mercy Village Church in particular to impact the next generation is something that is super obvious on a Sunday morning. If you just look at how many people leave the room when our kids' classes are dismissed. And so that's all the anecdotal evidence that you need to realize that the opportunity is massive. One of the things we were so excited about when God gave us Davis Creek Elementary School was that we could continue and expand what we're doing to impact the next generation. And so that's about to happen in a very meaningful way. So up till this point, our kids' classes have been itty bitties, which is your babies and crawlers, and littles, which is your toddlers, preschool age, or more preschool age, and then one giant class, any kindergarten, first grade through fifth grade. Now, that's beautiful, and we're thankful for the ministry that's been able to happen in there. But as you can imagine, such a wide experience with learning in that age group. And so it's hard to hit everyone in deeply meaningful and educational and developmental ways in a short, 40-minute, hour-long session with kids of that varying age. And so in mid-August, we are prayerfully, by God's grace, going to launch, this is exciting, a kindergarten through second grade class. So now those children can be taught in a way that's more applicable to them, and our third through fifth graders in a way that's applicable to them. That's beautiful. Absolutely cannot wait to see what God is going to do with that opportunity. But here's what we need. Primarily, we need volunteers. And I know that might not be high on your list of things that you're excited about, but maybe you're just excited in a more general sense about the impact that Mercy Village Church is having on the next generation, and you feel like you could be of use as a volunteer. Please talk to Amanda Weaver or Brittany Simmons. You should know both of them. Or if you don't, talk to me. I'll introduce you to them. Two fantastic people who help oversee these classes and all of our kids under fifth grade, really. And so if you don't know Brittany or Amanda, please talk to me if you have any interest at all in volunteering. Even if it's just finding out more, it's typically once a month in the classroom. And so anyway, there's a need that we have for volunteers, and it's an opportunity to engage in something that I think is a gift that God has given to us to impact the next generation here through this building as a church, Mercy Village Church. And so if that's you, if you have even the slightest amount of interest in that, please surface as soon as possible to Amanda Weaver, Brittany Simmons, or to myself. We'd love to talk to you more about that and get you plugged in if ultimately that's what you feel led to do. But this is a huge opportunity to impact the next generation. If that is absolutely not for you, here's the second best thing, and there's two ways because the second one impacts the youth group, but there's an Amazon wish list. I'm trying to make sure that it's on the video now. I'll include a link to it in this. It's mainly, I think there was way more stuff on here when we announced it on Sunday, and so get on there and buy some things and have those it'll go a long way. It's across all the classrooms. It's not just for these new classrooms, but it'll be a huge boost to our kids ministry. And that's another way that you can engage, right? Like this is a team project. It always has been. Mercy Village Church is a team project, and it always has been from the start, behind the scenes, up front, in every aspect. And so this is a way you can participate. And then the second is super exciting. It's more of like a win-win type of thing. I'm going to show you my favorite T-shirt here. You can see this is the back of the shirt. It says, Lord willing, then the creek don't rise, which is ironic because our church now sits in a place where the creek does get up and rise. And so it's really appropriate to the new building. And then on the front, you can see there's a Mercy Village logo on the pocket. So that's a super cool shirt. If you want, I wear a large. If anybody wants to give that as a gift, just kidding. I can buy my own shirt. But this is a whole store. So this is a whole merch shop, and the kicker is, well, let's see, MVC, and then there's like some youth designs here. There's some stuff for the kids classes. There's even vintage stuff. That's what I'm wearing right now. Is this old Mercy Village logo? It's a longer story than you have time for, but we thought about planting this church back in 2012, 2013, and that was the original logo back then when we were thinking about it. And there's hats and bags and blankets. There's all kinds of great stuff. And so all of this goes to support the youth group. And so if you were to buy anything from that store, first of all, it goes through the Village Sign Company, so you're shopping local, and then all the profits, and they're very generous with us at the Village Sign Company, all the profits will go to support the youth group. So these are two ways you can buy in and plug in. I know this video is really long already, so I want to get to the last thing really quick. But please volunteer to help with kids ministry. Please pray about it. Think about it. Realize it's not just a chore, but an opportunity. 2, shop the Amazon wish list, link included. And 3, shop the merch shop. All of those ways will benefit the next generation through Mercy Village Church. Awesome opportunity. Lastly is this. Let me pull up the computer again. We're going to have another yard sale. Might be our last one. We don't know. Just the way that the building may get rented out in the future might keep us from being able to keep having yard sales like this long term. But this opportunity is coming up quickly. On the 9th, the weekend of the 9th of August, we're going to have the actual sale. But that means this Sunday we're going to start collecting things. So that's July the 27th through August the 7th. We're going to be collecting items, accepting donations to sell clothing, toys, and household items. So please prayerfully consider what you have laying around that can be donated to the yard sale. And if you want to volunteer at all to help with that, that would be a blessing, a huge blessing. If you want to volunteer at all, please consider doing so. Talk to Jordan Mayo or Carolyn Canini. Again, 2 wonderful people that you should meet and you would love to know. But if you do not know who they are, just talk to me. I can make that introduction. But we would love to have your help either through donations or through volunteering. This Sunday we are in, I'm going to make sure that I'm reading it to make sure I get it right, Matthew chapter 13, of course, where we have been verses 31 through 33 and verses 44 through 46. Some tiny little parables that pack a big punch. They talk about the greatness of the kingdom. One you might recognize is the man who finds a treasure buried in a field, and he goes and sells everything he has so that he can afford to buy that field, because what the treasure that is in that field is of such high value. And Jesus compares this to the value of the kingdom, that it's worth our everything. And so it's certainly a heavy topic in the sense of what it's calling us to give our lives completely away to something, but it's also beautiful and filled with hope that if we do, that if we give our lives away to the way of the kingdom, to being disciples of Jesus, that it is worth it all and more. And so these are some of my favorite passages in the 13th chapter of Matthew, potentially in the whole book. So I absolutely can't wait to dive into them together. So hopefully I see you on Sunday. If you've watched it this far, congratulations. You get some sort of prize. I don't know what it is, maybe just a high five or something, but love you guys. Can't wait to see you on Sunday.